They made a big mistake with a mercenary. Grenades are completely out of control. Being able to put multi-shot on every single grenade should probably be illegal. And let's not get started on the new Mortar Totem, which you get with level 41 and already in its base setup is quite nasty and can be taken way further than what you see here. There are some challenges to overcome with the mortar cannon though, especially when it comes down to your skill tree. That's a bit tricky. Let's begin with Act 1 because the Merc changed quite a lot on how it levels. And that's all because of them moving some support gems around, namely Short Fuse that used to be a tier 1 support, allowing you to detonate your grenades faster, but you don't actually get that in Act 1 anymore. What they did do is they buffed the permafrost bolts, and that's the first skill you pick up. You pretty much instant freeze your enemies. And as a second skill gem, you're adding the explosive grenade. Killing Beira and the stupid worm has never been easier. Empty your explosive grenades on them, and then freeze, 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 freeze. Explosive grenades, freeze, freeze. Done. And as you then get your first 2 support gems, you get yourself the good old Scattershot, which is now called Multishot. And for the permafrost bolts to freeze more than one opponent, we're going to be putting on the Pierce. That has all your This will pretty much shoot through the first target and freeze everyone in front of you. Playstyle wise, when it comes down to the grenade, because of the longer fuse, you'll have to shoot them in front of you and run through opponents. They'll chase you and die. Shoot in front of you, run through opponent, they chase you, they die. And whatever survives, bam, permafrost shot, bam, permafrost shot. And you can pretty much zoom fast forward while you're reloading and not be slowed down anymore. With the double barrel support, you can go vop vop now with your permafrost rounds. And the magnified area on your explosive grenade gives you this nice overlap on the explosions that really all 3 grenades are hitting everyone at the same time. And that is going to simply destroy everything. And as you kill then the Rested King, you do get your first tier 3 gem and pretty much the one ability to rack them all. That would be the Flash Grenade. It has a very nice attack damage multiplier of 285%. And this one, you can as well play with the multi-shot. So instead of just getting one of these tiny flash grenades out, it's always 3, and they instantly explode, and they quite have some really fast refresh time. And this has you just zoom through the axe, flash, 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 and everything dies straight away. With your first spirit skill, you're then going to add the Herald of Ash, and that has you flash Ash, because if you then overkill with an explosion, the dudes behind you are going to bonus pop like little piñatas. And if you pick up one more support gem, you're going to be putting the Bleed on the flash grenade. Technically, you could play the Brutality gem, but the Bleed already works with the heavy physical damage that the flash grenade deals, and Brutality cuts you off any kind of elemental bonuses you have on any of your gear. Before you now finish the act and destroy Count Geonor in one single phase, we need to add one more thing, and that would be the gas grenade. Guess what we're going to do with a gas grenade? I'll give you a tip. It starts with multi and ends with shot. Usually at this point, you would shoot a triple explosive grenade, a single flash, and a single gas. Well, that's now triple, triple, and triple. And the gas grenade might as well get the elemental armament to boost the damage even further, as the explosion part is physical damage into fire damage, and you then do more elemental attack damage. Your passive points in Act 1 are going to look following: projectile damage, projectile damage, projectile damage, projectile damage. And then you're zooming here for more projectile damage, but also for the bonus cooldown recovery. This has you then zoom down here, dexterity, strength. Strength, swap between these back and forth. And your first goal should be wanting to get the 40% bonus damage to two-handed weapons, as that just boosts everything you do. With all of this in your backpack, we're one-phasing Count Geonor. I did not promise you too much. You're going to be an absolute nasty menace and just zoom into that Act 2. And in Act 2, your main goal will be to become level 22 for the explosive shot. And your explosive shot is then going to replace the permafrost bolts. That double barrel now goes over to the explosive shot, and you can slap the multi-shot on that one as well. Now you would think we're probably going to go around explosive grenade, explosive shot, explosive grenade, explosive shot while we're going through the levels, but that's wrong because that flash grenade with a bleed and a good crossbow is pretty much just one-shotting everything. That means you're going to zoom through a level, flash grenade, death, flash grenade, death, flash grenade, death. If there's a bigger elite, someone that refuses to die, explosive grenade, explosive shot. That combination of skills is going to make the Trials of Sekimus absolutely laughable. Because if you're spamming explosive shots at everyone, they're going to get instantly stunned, instantly thrown around, and if they actually do survive the first shot, they're going to die to the second one. Very important here that you invest your next skill points into the left side for grenades fire an additional projectile, because that's going to then have you have 4 projectiles. And on top, you also want to have the bonus cooldown use. That's insane. Now you get 2 charges on the stun grenade and 4 on the gas and explosive. Plus it's 4, 4, and 4 grenades instead of 3. That Ascension boss is not even going to know what hit him. He gets absolutely torn into pieces. And your choice is going to be the Tactician. Main reason is we want to have the immobilization build up and also the projectile damage builds pin, plus pin enemies cannot perform actions. You obviously don't have 4 points in the beginning, which means your first 2 points either go over to a solid plan, or you simply get more armor and evasion rating plus gain deflection rating equals to 20% of armor. That might probably be the simplest one, as you don't have to have another spirit ability. As you then ascend a second time, you obviously instantly respec into the projectile damage builds pin, and pin enemies cannot perform actions. Are there any other gems we're going to choose before we hit the mortar at level 41? Yes, there's actually the oil grenade. And I do love me that one because it says covering enemies in oil applies exposure, lowering total elemental resistance by 20%. And I like to play the persistent ground on it, which increases the duration of the ground surfaces created. And if you have another support gem, you also want to take potent exposure. Don't forget as you're leveling to replace all your multishot 1s through multishot 2s. And also to get your explosive grenade, the elemental armament 2 for even more damage. While my flash grenade get the magnified areas so it actually hits the whole screen. With this in tow, you're pretty much zooming through all the content. For normal monsters, I just used the stun grenade. I knew nothing else. Elites would be explosive grenade plus explosive shot. And then for bosses, you throw your oil grenade into gas grenades, then the explosive grenades, followed up by the flash grenade, gas grenade, explosive grenade, flash grenade, gas grenade, explosive grenade. You don't really bother very much with the explosive shot because it doesn't matter that your explosive grenades take quite a while to explode, since you want to throw some gas grenades in there anyways. You want to stun it anyways with your stun grenades. You got enough to do. Next skill points to fuel this even further is you traveling downwards towards the repeating explosion node. This gives your grenades a 15% chance to activate a second time. Pretty nifty. And then as you zoom over to the left side, we're going to get the increased grenade damage, grenade damage, grenade damage, and also gain 4% of damage as extra fire damage for every different grenade fired in the past 8 seconds. And we're pretty much unloading the explosive, the gas grenade, into the flash grenade, into the oil grenade. Huge bonus damage. Good, you blasted through Act 3, Doriani was not a problem, the Viper got one faced without standing a chance. Amazing. We're going into Act 4 and you reach that level 41. And the Mortar Totem will feel underwhelming compared to the full array of grenades you have at first. Now you have to make a decision. Do you want to go for the mortar or do you want to keep grenading? Because you could also play this now all the way to 65 plus, even to level 80 with the grenade setup, and you wouldn't struggle a single time. But the Mortar Totem in itself can be an absolute menace. You already do need 1 Jeweler's Orb or it's useless. Preferable you would have another Jeweler's Orb to make it already 4. Because we're going to be slotting the explosive grenade in, then you need to have the payload gem. We're not going for the multi-shot because we can't afford the minus in damage. What you would like to have is a tier 5 totem called Urgent Totems, because that gives you another 20% attack speed and makes you place these totems actually vastly faster. Urgent Totems 2 is okay at first to at least get them out faster. If you add the mortar cannons to your current setup, they're not doing that much. It's a tiny bit bonus DPS and it actually gets you out of your rotation. So if you want to play the mortar cannon, we got to fully focus on it to actually have this outcome. And in order to get the results I've shown you there, we're going to focus on the mortar cannon together with the explosive shot. Instead of double barrel, we're going to be playing the streamlined rounds, which actually gives it 5 goddamn bonus bullets. You're still going to have the multi-shot. And we actually add the nimble reload, which pretty much has the gun instantly reload. Very important for this, you need to move skill points over to the right side into the rapid reload, that your crossbow reloads faster as well. What happens right now is we're always going to engage with a totem. The totem instantly unload their explosive grenades, and they go really vop, 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 incredibly fast, and you shoot with your explosive shot into that, instantly exploding them. Monsters are going to aggro your totems, and not you. The explosive grenades are going to be exactly where you want them to be, because that's where you place the totems. And your explosive shots are instantly exploding the payload that comes right in front of the cannons. You can pretty much place them and start shooting into them, and they go and everything goes up in flames. And since we're a mercenary with the immobilization buildup and also the right where we want it, nothing can move. Not only will your explosive grenades pin them, also your triple shot with the explosive shot will instantly pin them as well. Not only do we need the bonus reload for that, you're also going to go to the bottom left on top of the demolitionist node, and here we're going to pick up the +1 ballista totem. Then ballista totems give us bonus armor and evasion rating, and ballista totems shoot faster. Since the mortar cannon is a ballista totem. Big problem for this playstyle is we can't play cannons ready. It simply doesn't work. Yes, we will get maximum 1 totem, but unless we do something, our totems are not shooting. But we want our totems to engage to instantly unload their payload that we can then shoot into them and have explosions going on. And now to the point where I said you could wait until level 60, 65 to do that, because you're simply going to have more skill points to make this more efficient. The grenades are already insane with the level 41 skill points that I've shown you, and they only get stronger from that point on. Whilst the ballista does need somewhat more attack speed, so they're actually going out faster with the vop, 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 vop. And it also needs to have that tier 5 support gem, the Ancestral Call, that you're getting them out quick. And optimally, you want to have the Idol of Uldurn, because that gives you skills have +1 limit. That would instantly give you a 3rd totem without having to do anything. Alternative, you could get yourself a Bombard crossbow with a desecration boost of +1 to the maximum number of summoned ballista totems. Yup, with the amulet and that crossbow, you're sitting at 4 mortar totems. And then the whole idea of that mortar cannon really comes crazy online. What I'm going to do to make this accessible for you, both versions, I'm going to add a 1 to 16, 16 to 65 with grenades, and then also the Variant 41 plus with the mortar totem and the respective supports plus passive points you would need for each. And don't you worry, on this channel live, we will continue the Mortar Totem playthrough that we reach the endgame, reach level 85, and can show you the true powerful potential of what you can do if you then fully lean into it. What do you say, ladies and gentlemen? Does this look goddamn hot for you, or would you rather be interested in that Fissure Totem Warrior, which is also cooking pretty hard and does not need all these items to even remotely exist? Tell me in the comments below, and do also check out the Warrior. Do me that favor. Thank you very much. Take care.